Hello, I'll make a quick one on this particular design. It's also a photo clip effect, which I will do currently. I'll do right now. So let's get started. We'll bring in the image, we'll call the background of the image, and we'll clip it in the text and do some fillings. So we go. Now, I just created an artboard of 210 by 210 in centimeters. That's 21 by 21 centimeters each. So which I can quickly do the same. Come here, new, they'll go 10 centimeters and 21, just a square dp size and the resolution about 300. Now here we go, then the rest is the same. Great. So after doing that, the next thing we create our grids, our guides. So we drag rulers from the edges, we drop reasonable distance. Let's do add it 2. Then we'll drag again, visually balance. That's what I do most times. But I think this is okay, and this also getting the square at the edge. Then this also. Now, if we have this, the next thing we're meant to create is create the shapes and all of that. So now if you're creating the shapes, let's start with rectangle. The rectangle first. Now we're starting with a rectangle, and we draw the first rectangle at this depth. Now let's fill the rectangle with a specific color. Okay, it actually came with a color. So this is the color code used. Double click inside to see the color code. So this is the color code. You can come here to see the actual color being used. So this is the color code ED. Let me make a zoom for that. So this is the color EDAD13. You can see the hue is 42 degrees, the saturation 92%, and the brightness, which is also the value, is 33%. So now let's that's that. Then we don't really need all this. We don't need the stroke around it. We don't need stroke. Let's turn off the stroke, which we'll do that too now. So let's turn off the stroke. Then we'll come here. We put it at no color. Now without the stroke for it, then we'll come to move. Now we are meant to tilt or skew this particular shape. We want to skew the shape to give us the effect of this slanted side. So we'll use pen tool to do that. We can also do that in other ways, but I will, for the sake of the tutorial, let's use the pen tool. Okay, but first let me show us. Sorry about that. So, but first let me show us the skew method. So to skew, you click on the edge. Then it's going to show you transform, or you press on Ctrl T. So you right click. After right clicking, then you go to skew. If you skew it, then you can move one side up, and this is what we have. Then we'll click OK. You just right click, make sure you open it. Then the transform option will show. The transform option will show here. When the transform option shows, then we can right click, then go to skew, then you just drag it up, boom, and that's it. That's all we have. And that is that about that. Okay, let's move it a bit up. Now then we'll finish it up. Okay, now the next thing is to duplicate the images in such a way that it's going to look very interesting for us to use. So hold on how to duplicate and drop. I will drop on each of the heads very close to each other. Then I would hold the same for this, drag again and drop for each of it. Hold on hold, shift to make it very aligned. Can move it up, can move it up, can move it up. Then also I will drag and drop down, move it up. So if I have this, what else? Now, we have a test tool to work with, a test to play with or play around with. Now, if we have this, let's delete this first one. Okay, we'll still look at the one to delete now from now. So we want to have the test here. This one will be here. Then we want to have the white here, and this one will come as a shape on the down part. So now let's write the test itself. So we come here to test to type. All right, let's talk. Then we click finish. Then we can change the properties of this test. Come back, and now I'll be using Novera and modern. So this is a modern black. Modern black is good. Then we can come here and adjust a few settings. You can see the leading of this typography of this typeface is still tight, so we have to reduce it. Now we'll do all of that by just adjusting it to the default ones. We have 0. Yours might not have it, so don't bother. If yours doesn't have it, don't bother about it. Yes, metric is good. Everything gonna push to here. Okay, now we can move it to this position also. So let's increase the size. Now we need to skew this particular test. To do that, just the way we did for the shape, we can do the same to the test. So double click to open this transform option, or press Ctrl T, or you press Ctrl T, then you right click and you click on skew, and we can drag this edge up to make this stick. So let's make sure this edge actually aligns with the test. So that's the idea behind it, so that we don't get imbalanced skew proportion. So now we have this. Yep. So and afterwards click on finish. Then we can delete the background shape, which is this orange at the back. We can delete that one. So to do that, let's go and locate it. Let's see, hide. No, that's not it. Come here, that's not it. That's a test. Then we'll come here. Okay, not it. So this must definitely be it. So we'll come here and we delete it off. Come delete. Then afterwards, next thing to do is work on the other shapes. To work on the other shapes, we have to let delete this particular shape too. Now we have this two shape, and okay, let's move this two shape down a bit. See if we can get something nice. Simple. This is okay. Now let's make this a proper a rectangular base, and this side to be a truncated side. So to do that, we come to the pen tool. So we'll come to the pen tool here. Then coming to pen tool, what pen tool does is it converts all the shapes boundary to part. As you can see, we can see part around it. So what we're meant to do is, when your cap lock is turned on, make sure you turn it off so that you can see the pen icon itself. If you turn the caps on, you only see a crosshair. But if you turn it off, you see the pen tool actually. You see the pen tool actually. So let's adjust the point. So for each part, there is definition of the part is the combination of several points. So as you can see, this shape has 4 points: one here, one here, one here, one here. So the point is an angle. A rectangle has 4 angles actually. So now for those angles, we have 4 points. So we are meant to bring one of these points down to form a straight line with the other point. So how are we going to do that? So we hold on our control key, then our pick tool will pop up while still on the pen tool. You must make sure you're on pen tool, this curvature tool, come pen tool. So now this is the pen icon itself. So don't forget, if your caps lock is turned on, you only see a crosshair, you will not see the pen tool itself. So turn off your caps lock to see the pen tool. For all the tools on Photoshop, make sure if you want to make use of those particular to turn off your cap lock so that you can see the two icon and not crosshair. So let's continue with the balancing of the base of the shape. So let's hold on control. If we hold on control, then we'll be able to see a pick tool that will pop up still underneath this pen tool. So after holding on control, then you can drag on it. And after dragging on it, then you move closer. Now don't get confused about the guide. Like the guide might be an issue trying to deal with. So what you just need to do is either you move the guide away so that it doesn't stress it so much, and while holding on so that you can pick this, drag it down. So one thing is you need to know the shift is used to maintain a proper straight line. So whenever you're trying to get a particular fixed point and you have an issue, just hold on your shift, then you can achieve a very perfect straight point, which I just did. Then we did that. Now this one is straight, but this is not. So let's adjust and work on this too. So come back, hold on control, you can drag on it and drop. Then you can be able to pick this point. Then we can drag this out a bit. Then let's drag this. Don't forget to maintain a very straight line. Then we have to pick our shift key. Then try to achieve something very straight. To get the straight line perfectly well, we can drag a pen, a guide. Let's say we will have it around the side. Then we can come back, hold on control and drag this on that yes one. Then we'll do the same, hold on control, select again, then still holding on control, drag and hold on shift. Now we have something very perfect. So with that, I think we are good on the shapes. Then we can come back, hold on control to drag our guide back and our guides back. So that is that. Now next thing to do is to create the next base shape around the side. So let's click on rectangle again, drag, so pick the previous color we used, then remove the stroke by clicking no color. Now this is what we have. So we'll definitely still change the color for this. Let's see the color for the test too. Yes, we can use color picker to pick the exact color. Pick the exact color here. Okay. Now with that, we can bring in our picture. So the picture we are meant to use is this. We are bringing in this picture. If we drag it, we'll notice the picture has a background. Now we're meant to remove the background of the picture, take the background out. So how are we going to do that? So we'll go back after loading the picture, and here we are going to learn how to load the background of images. So as a graphic designer, I should be able to do that because not all pictures will come with the background when you're working. So let's do that. It might be a bit tricky, but just make sure you get your hands on it faster. Keep practicing with several images, then along the line you become so good at it. There are several methods. I'll just be using one particular method to do that. One particular method that is precise. Some other methods are not that precise. So I'll be using just one method that is precise to do all of that. So now let's remove this lock icon and convert it to smart object. Convert to smart object. Then we'll create. So after converting to smart object, come down here to create a layer mask on it. So we have a layer on top of it. So what the layer does is it helps you hide and unhide, keeps some part of an image that you don't really or actually want to delete totally. You temporarily want to delete it and bring it back later. So that's what the layer does. So if you apply, as you can see now, the layer is looking white. So if I can paint, come to brush tool here, and I decide to paint black on it while on this layer, if I paint black on it now, then we'll see the black in this icon. So it has been deleted. If I want it back, I'll just switch this color to white and I'll paint that white on it. Then my image will come back. All those things I just cleared out will come back immediately. So that's why it's good to edit background in layers. So let's cut the background. I'll do that in a precise way. I don't want to bore you with so much settings that will get you confused. So to do that, let's come to polygon lasso tool. So you hold down to see yours might be lasso tool, but I'll be using polygon lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool rather. So clicking on it, then we can zoom in, hold on Alt, then your scroll wheel to zoom in perfectly where you have to do it while zoomed in so that you can get a very good edge of the image while editing. So I'll start from this edge touch. So actually triangle circles is made up of straight lines. So those straight lines have short distances. That's why at the end of it, when you see it from afar, you see it as a circle. So that's what you're trying to create here. So we'll create the best or the perfect curves with straight lines with these two. So make sure you don't double click or as you finish your selection. Just click, just click, just click. So I'll try to make this very fast. So after proper selection of whatever, you see a macro around macro selection around the image. You zoom out. Then after that, we're meant to brush out the outside part of the shape. We just selected the inner parts now. So to brush out the outside part, we come to select. Then on the select, we'll go to inverse. The shortcut is Shift Control plus I. Go to inverse. Then by selecting inverse, it will select the inverse of your actual selection that you just made. So which is this. Then we'll click on the brush tool back again. Come back to brush tool. Switch this to black. Make sure black is the fore background and the white is the background itself. What we have here. So what we're actually doing is we are switching this any color on top of this side is called the foreground color. Then any color here it's called the background color. So that means if you create a new image now, or if you create a new document now, the first thing you see is this white. But if you switch it now, the first thing you'll see is the black, which I will make a drop down from later. For this, and if you're brushing on anything now, we'll be brushing as a white color. So can you see nothing is happening? But if we switch it to black, that means something will definitely happen. So that is the idea behind this. So let's go to, so we switch it to black. Then while switching it to black, make sure this is not selected. Let's take note. We are actually brushing on the max to max layer, not the layer max rather. We are brushing on the layer max, not the image. So let's know that if we are working with what's it called, with layer max, we should always select the layer max and not the image. If you select the image, if we try to brush, can you see there's no even option for you for us to be able to brush. So if that happens, just come here, make sure your layer is selected instead before you can be able to brush around the image, or you can use the brush around the image. So after that, when we're done, click the move, then we can decide to deselect. Just click on Control D to deselect. So if we come here, we'll see that this glass should be transparent. We should do well to make a selection that will not that will show whatever we put at the back. So if we take it into our design like that, we will still not get. If you take it to our design now, just drag and drop here, we will not be seeing anything around the side. We will not be seeing anything around the side. So we need to make sure it's a bit transparent. So to do that, we come back to the edit. After coming back there, then make sure you deselect by clicking on Ctrl D. Then we'll come here, we'll select the area around the transparent part. To do that, still while your layer mask is selected, we come to the polygon lasso tool, then you select, pick the best detail as possible, please, whenever you're making a selection. Just take your time. In graphic design, you learn a lot of patience. You have to be very patient. Don't expect you'll be able to finish just one job in a twinkle of an eye, because the more you work on projects, the better you become. The more time you spend on a particular object, the better the work comes out. So let's learn that and not rush. So close it up. So afterwards, now I want to make more selections here at the same time. You can just hold on Shift key to add more. If you don't hold on Shift key, you will not see an option. If I continue like this, it will disconnect that. So let's just hold on Shift key, then you click. Then you can release your hand from the Shift. Then continue drawing the rest of the shape. Now, after proper selection, you click on the brush tool. Now, this time, we will make sure the brush is as soft as possible. The brush should not be that sharp. So let's reduce the opacity of the brush to about 50%. So we have the opacity at 100 initially. So we'll come here to reduce the opacity of the brush to about 50%, so that we don't totally clean what we have there. We still have a bit of the glass there, and anything behind it will still be showing, because that's what glass does. Glass is always transparent. So there we can now brush around here. So our white, as you can see, our white is selected, so we need to switch back by clicking on this tiny arrow to pick the black. Then that's where we can you see, we can still see a bit of, just touch it once, please. Let's go back. So after reducing the opacity, so we come down here, we switch it back to black also. Then after switching it to black, we make sure we only click inside once. The more you brush on it, the more it fades out. So we just click inside just once. So if I go to click again, it will keep taking it off and off, and the effect that will actually create will not be there. So we just do it once, and that's all. So let's go to move 2. Now we are done with, so Control D to deselect. Now we're done. We can see the back of the image with a bit of transparency. So we can now come here, just drag this and drop. dragging and drop, then okay. So let's resize. Okay. Okay. Still need to take this down a bit. So this is what we have. Okay, then we'll click finish. Now we need to work on some part of the image that is not blending well here. So what we just need to do is come to the brush tool again, then we'll pick a soft brush, a very soft brush around the side. So picking a soft brush, then let's change the opacity back to 100. Then we make sure we select the layer mask again. Then we can come here and start brushing. We can reduce this brush by clicking on this key, the bracket key. So we can increase it back by using the right bracket key, reduce by using the left bracket key. So we have this, and now as you can see, the edge of the picture of the hair part is looking too sharp. So let's try to still use that same soft brush to make it look a bit realistic. So increase it with the bracket key, right bracket key, and draw the edge to make it soft. Just to be soft. So let's can increase it a bit so that you can get a quick on it very well. Just brush around the edge of the image. Yes. Then the same thing apply to this side. So a bit of the side too. So now we have something of this nature. Now then afterwards we position the image. Let's move this a bit downwards. Okay, so it's okay this way. It's okay this way. Now Talking about, as you can see, the image is off beyond the limit of what we want, so we have to remove it from this edge. So we come here and click on the rectangular marker 2. You can see the elliptical marker 2 here, they both in the same section. Then we draw on it. Then we'll now come to our layer mask again. We'll brush on that layer mask. But while brushing, make sure you change the brush back to add round brush. Then we brush. We can increase the size with the right bracket too. Then so we don't have something of such. Then Ctrl D to deselect. Now we need to clip this particular image in this text behind it. So what we'll do is we'll first move the text close to the image. We move the text close to the image, you drag it up, drop it close to the image, then they are together. Then we'll now hold on our Alt key and go to the center. We'll come here, select the image, hold on our Alt key and click left click. So now we have the image inside. We have the image here. So the next thing is for us to duplicate this particular image. So we'll come here. So duplicate the particular image. So is it for duplicate? Is that we drag this image and come and drop on the create new layer, which is here, or we click on Ctrl J. So we just drag and drop on the create new layer, not on delete. And afterwards, we now make sure we unclip this. We have two images now clicked inside. So the next thing we have to do is to make sure to unclip one of it. So how are we going to do that? We'll hold on Alt again, then we'll see an unclip icon. We click it. Sorry. Hold on Alt, unclip icon, we click it, then it will unclip. So now the actual image is here, the clipped image is underneath. So we now move the actual image underneath the left stock. So you can take a playback to understand it better. So now this is what we have. So we have the clipped one, and we have the unclipped one. So that's it. So now what next is to stroke the image. So but before we stroke the image, let's click, then go to blending option. So there are several options there you can actually play with. We have the stroke to, we have bevel to, and all of that. So sorry, there are a few settings that have been set already, so I'll have to do it and make everything look default now. So we have the bevel to here. We have several contours, play with them, but for the sake of this video, I will focus on the stroke. We have inner shadow, we have drop shadow, we have inner glow, we have satin, color layer, color overlay, gradient overlay, pattern overlay, outer below, drop shadow, which in the tips and tricks bonus of the class, I will say more about all of these things. Now, let's use the stroke. So these are the few settings I set for the stroke. So I actually use the length of the stroke. You can increase or reduce if you want, but we'll be using 8. Then the position of the stroke will be outside, and blending mode will be normal. The opacity will be 100, no overprint. Then we'll change the color type to the particular image color, which is this. You can pick it. We're picking the whites, which is not gold. So we pick the color. If you're finding it difficult, find it hard to pick the color, let's do that and see if it's giving us white. So we don't mind, it's actually not seeing the actual stuff. Let's pick it from our normal code 42. 42 up, saturation 100 and all of that 100 too. So saturation 100, the value to 100. and you can click OK. Now this is what we are working on. Then we click OK. Now as you can see, the stroke is applied on all the edges. Where I meant we want to make it's looking nice here, while the edge is not looking very, it's looking too bulky. So what we think, this is what we want around this side. On this side is looking bulky, so we need to clean out the stroke around the side. The stroke is making it look bulky, and the same thing applies to this. So how we're going to do that, we come here to the FX icon, the effect icon, right click on it and go to create layer. So it's going to turn the effect, the stroke effect, to a particular layer. So let's see how that is. If I uncheck the high icon, see that the stroke effect is gone and we have just our face. So now the stroke is now a layer. Then we'll come here, create a layer mask for the stroke. Then after that, make sure it's selected. After making sure it's selected, then you come down to this particular section of the image, the layer mask for the image. Hold on Control, then a selection icon will pop out. Then click inside. Then after clicking inside, you see a marker to drawn around the image around the side. You can see the tool here, marker shape drawn. So we will now come back and select the layer marks for our test for the stroke. Then after selecting the layer mask for the stroke, then we will try to brush out away this particular shape. So to brush away the shape, how we're going to do that, we'll come down to brush tool, make sure your black is selected, then and your brush is add brush, not opacity now, because you're taking it out completely. Now make sure the layer mask for the stroke is selected, not the stroke itself, the layer mask for the stroke. Now invert the stroke so that the selection that we're picking will be this one outside. So we'll come to select, then invert, then we'll brush in, brush out, brush in, brush out. Then we'll do the same, brush in, brush out, brush in, brush out. Then this, in case we make mistake and go to select and we did not do this inverse, that means we're actually brushing the inside, we're not brushing the outside. So we need to make sure we select inverse so that we can work on outside and not inside. So we can click on our move to and zoom out and click Ctrl D to deselect. Then after moving out, then zoom all, and this is what we have. So afterwards, we can write a few tests. Just click on it. Then we can write architecture. Let's talk about duplicate, change this to something of this nature. Change the color to white. Drag and pull out the center. So we can start to change this particular text to something's serif. So let's go to serif. This is Times New Roman. Let's make it bold. Okay. I'll zoom in to change the size. Okay. Now we can unhide our guides, like hide our guides rather, or we clear the guides. ruler, show, or remove guides. Now, this is what we have. We did not include the, what's it called? We did not include the logo. They did not include the logo around this side. So you can see there is a line dropping around this edge. So let's work on cleaning off that line. The line is from the image itself. Part of the image is not well, it's not properly cleaned. So select the image, click on the marks, then click on the marks of the image. Then we'll go to brush and brush it off. Okay, brushing, we have two images, so we have to do for the two images. One, the first one has been out. Then we'll come to the second one here and we'll brush. You can see it's gone for that. It's going. The other one is in a clip content. As you can see, there is a stroke here of that clip content which we can also work on and brush off. So we can come here and click just a bit by not clicking on, yeah, click on the stroke. Click on the stroke. You can see the stroke here, so you can click on it. Okay. Now, if we have the logo, we just drag and drop. You can drag and drop the logo while let's turn on the guides again. You can drag and drop the logo. So we have the logo inside, then we can bring it to the edge and use the size. And take it a bit here. So as you can see, this image is actually black and white. So let's work on it and make an effect of black and white on it. So we select, we go to images, then go to adjustment and pick black and white. Then the image will convert to black and white. We've done that for the one underneath it. So we have to work on the one in the clip. So we click also on the one in the clip and we'll go to images, adjust black and white. Then we have this selected. For the image, we can see we cannot use black and white here because we have an actual text around this region that is white. So that text will remain white if we use black and white. So we need to use a blend option for it. So we right click on the logo on the layout tab, go to blending options, then we now overlay black on it. We go to color overlay, then we select our black, total black, then okay, and we are good. So that is that. We see you in the next tutorial.